Thanks for joining us again. We're going to be talking today about designing with pets in mind. So let me go ahead and bring in our designers for introductions. Hello, designers. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself for everyone?
Yeah, my name is Mackenzie. I'm an interior designer with Habitat Design, and I've been there for the last 7 years.
Great.
And I'm Hannah Lewick. I've been with Habitat for 9 years now, also an interior designer.
Hey, so fun fact about our designers, they are both pet owners. Mackenzie has a cat and Hannah has a dog. So they are the perfect designers to be able to tell us today about designing with your pet in mind. We know this is an especially topical subject with how many pets have been adopted during the stay-at-home order. I know here in Chicago, the different pet shelters, some of them are completely empty, which is amazing. So I've got some photos the designers have shared for us, and we're going to go over some of their designs with pets in mind. Okay, here is our first set of designs. These are design renderings from some of Hannah's projects. Hannah, why don't you tell us about these projects and what's going on here?
Yeah, so both of these clients are cat owners and living in a small condo in the city. Obviously, it's always a challenge to find a good place to put a litter box because it does take up a decent amount of room in your space and can be messy, obviously. So you want to find a good place to put it that's kind of hidden away, but still easy for your cat to access. And obviously, one of the first places you think of is a bathroom. Both of these clients had some extra space in bathrooms. It's where they were actually storing their litter box anyways, but it was just kind of out in the open, out in the middle of the bathroom, and it took up more space than they wanted it to. So we tried to think of some clever solutions of places to put a litter box where it's kind of tucked away, but still easy for their pets to access, easy for the client to clean up. So one good solution is if you're doing new built-ins or cabinetry in your bathroom, find a little place to put the litter box. This corner right next to the toilet makes sense because it's kind of not a super functional space in terms of storage for the client herself. You can't put like a cabinet door there or a drawer because it's going to bump into the toilet. So we just left that space open, a little platform to put the litter box on. The cat can easily still get to it, but it is just kind of like tucked away. So you don't have to step over the litter box every time you go into the powder room. And obviously most bathrooms are going to have some sort of hard surface flooring, tile or hardwood. So that obviously makes it easier to clean up as well, as opposed to having a litter box somewhere where there's carpet, and that's not going to be fun to vacuum up like every day.
Mackenzie, could you tell us a little bit about some of these items and kind of in what cases these would be a great solution for folks?
Yeah, you see a lot of products like this to where it's a cabinet with areas for a litter box. This one especially, the top option there is really clever. It's like quadruple function. It has, the litter box hidden away, the doors that'll open up so you can easily clean it, and then the hole to access it for the cat. But also included is a scratching pad, which is awesome. And then it's also a bench and a shelf. So there are really like some clever options for this. And it's great for people that don't have the opportunity to maybe remodel a bathroom and put an area in there for your cat. So you can easily buy this from, a Walmart or, anywhere, a general store. To be able to put this in any space in your home and just hide it so you're not looking at, a dirty cat box in your, in your bathroom when you have guests come over or whatnot.
Great. And I really like with both of these as well that neither of them at first glance look like litter box things. Like they really just look like normal, like cute little home storage units. So it's was so funny to me that these were so perfect in functions, especially with the top one you mentioned. I didn't even know that was a scratching pad, because I don't have a cat, so I did not know that. So see, this is why we have the cat owner on board in the interview.
I'll say a point about that too. I think, especially in the current environment, I've seen some great DIY projects too, where people have created things similar to this just on their own. If you're a little handy, you can take an old side table and cut a hole out of the side and put the litter box in. You know, obviously if you're kind of deciding on a whim that you're going to foster a pet during this shelter in place, obviously, like Mackenzie said, you're not going to go remodel your bathroom for this pet you're fostering. But, you know, if you have a nightstand laying around or a side table or a bench, or, you know, I think there's lots of clever ways that you could kind of convert it into a space for a litter box or a pet, you know, a dog bed or anything like that. I know one of our other designers at our company has multiple pets, lots of cats and dogs, and she actually built like a storage cabinet for the litter box for their cats by herself, and it turned out really cute. So if you're a little handy and you need something to do while you're bored stuck at home, this could be a good project.
Nice, I'm impressed. Hannah, why don't you go and tell us about this one? I think it's a little obvious what animal is in mind to be using this feature, but why don't you tell us all about it?
These I've seen used in a number of homes of my clients. I think they're a really handy way, once again, to kind of fit in a litter box in a space that already exists instead of renovating a space around a pet. You can get these at hardware stores, you can find them online. There's all different kinds, but it's just a little nook that you cut out in your closet door, or any door for that matter. Because a lot of times, I know me personally, when I've had cats in the past, most of the time the litter box ended up in a closet just because it was the most convenient place to put it. And we ended up just having to leave the closet door open all the time so the cat could get in and out. So this is kind of a good solution to that. Just a little hole you cut out in the bottom of your door, and the cat can come and go as they please. Use the litter box when they need to, but it keeps the litter box hidden away, keeps the litter contained.
So Mackenzie, as Hannah was mentioning, there were some other pet doors that we oftentimes see. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the doors we're seeing in these photos?
Yeah, so these doors, clearly you can see are to the outside, are really kind of a clever way to implement kind of some indoor-outdoor access for your pet that is, having you needing to open the door all day, every day for them to get in and out. So these are really nice because, they're built in very well. So the little wooden door in the top picture, or the left picture, is, probably matches the doors that they have in their interior. And then it has like this really nice trim and casing that matches the rest of the house. So it's really well done and really cute. And then just for security reasons too, they can likely lock it at night, so you don't have to worry about people or other animals getting in. And then, as well, that other picture is also pretty cool because it has a sensor for your animal on its collar. So it'll open up to let your animal in and out, but it won't let, it'll stay locked all the time, for other raccoons or critters that might be passing by. And that's also a big door. So you can see that like a human could actually fit through that too. So that's always a concern if you do have a dog door or a pet door in an area where someone could be. But they do a really nice job, and it's very built in, and it looks, very professional. So it does well.
Nice. Okay, I am going to kind of keep us on the trends of talking about our dog's access. Show you guys another slide here. Okay, so now as you can see, we're inside the home. So I'd love to hear kind of some of the thoughts about different doors and gates for our interior.
So this one I'd say applies more to dogs than cats. Most cats are going to be able to jump over a gate. Gate probably isn't going to be a good solution to keep your cat out of somewhere, because cats will, if they want to get somewhere, they will make an effort to get there. But a lot of times with your dog, maybe if it's just been outside, you don't want it to like just storm through the house with muddy paws, or there's just maybe more formal rooms you don't want your pet to go into. So a gate is the way to prevent that from happening. And obviously there's baby gates, dog gates on the market that aren't so pretty looking, but are easy to just kind of set up when you need them. But if you're the type of person who has kids and pets and knows you'll always have pets, it might be something to think about when you're in the middle of a renovation. This first picture, I love how the gate not only is stylish, but it fits in with the decor. And I love that they've even made it so it's like a pocket door, so it slides back into the wall when you don't want to use it, so you don't have to look at it all the time. And then in the second picture, obviously this one, you see all the time, but it looks like it's maybe going to a room that's specifically made for pets, or maybe to a mudroom or something like that. So it still incorporates some style that's really nice, but doesn't hide away quite as well. But in a space like a mudroom, that probably doesn't matter as much. Whereas in that kitchen, you know, that's a space you're in all the time, and you maybe don't want to have to look at that gate all the time.
Mackenzie, I'm going to pick on you to tell us a little bit about these items. So there is a built-in, a non-built-in. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these different options and kind of how these are going to work for pet owners?
Yeah, so this one is another clever way to kind of integrate the dog bowls, the dog food, obviously, and maybe some extra storage behind there, to where it can completely be hidden away. So maybe clearly you feed your dog a couple times a day, but you don't want to see, you know, the bowls all the time, or when you have, maybe you entertain a lot and you have guests over. This is a good way to have it, you know, easily accessible. You can open that up twice a day, but once it's done, you can close it away. And then you don't have to worry about seeing, like, you know, these gross bowls or whatever in the way. Some people just really don't, you know, want to see that. So having this as an option is really nice. And then clearly having, you know, the food right next to it is just an awesome, you know, very convenient, very, you know, thought out plan there for both cases. So clearly the first one is built in. That was very custom. Again, if you don't, you know, have the time, the money, or just the resources to do a built-in, then you can, you know, buy a cabinet like the second one. So very similar idea. Doesn't take up much space, which is really nice, but it has like the drawer with the bowls and then, you know, the pull-out food. So and that could, you know, go anywhere.
Okay, Hannah, you submitted this photo to talk about space. Obviously, the person's gorgeous dog is making an appearance in the photo, so we know it's a space for that pet. Why don't you tell us about what's happening in this space, how it was designed with the pet in mind?
This is a wonderful mudroom that I know most people don't have the luxury of having in the city, but if you do have a single family home or a home in the suburbs, I'm sure you probably have some sort of mudroom where you do your laundry, where you come in and out from the garage or a back door or something like that. You know, maybe your muddy shoes are being stored in here. So it makes sense to have it be a space for your pet as well. You know, maybe there's a doggy door in your back door, and this is the place that the pet enters into when they come in from being outside. It's a great place to have, you know, a dog bath. I dream someday of having a dog bath. I think that's super handy to right when you come in from the outdoors and it's been rainy and everybody's muddy, to be able to just hose down the pet right there before you get any further into the house. And then it's a nice little place for a dog bed too. Maybe if you like to keep your dog contained during the day when you're not there, if everyone's at work all day during the day, it's nice to have a separate space for the pet to be where they can roam around a little bit, have a nice little bed to sleep on, to nap in, but you can still keep them contained to that space. So they kind of have everything they need in that room while you're gone during the day.
So this, I think, is a really fun space because all of us, all creatures, we all want a little space to call our own. We all want a little private, personal space. So Mackenzie, you shared this photo with us as one of your favorite spaces for a pet. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
Yeah, I love this because, you know, under the stairs is really kind of a difficult space to maximize. You know, you can see there that they use the taller part, the bigger area for a desk, which is clever on its own. But then, you know, when you get into the lower area, it's not a lot that you can do there. So kind of using it as a dog bed is just, I think, so clever because, you know, the dogs love to kind of have their own space and have their own bed and maybe snuggle up in there. So I think this is just a really clever use of space, and it really maximizes the area under the stairs. And I mean, this one in particular, you can see that there's artwork in there too, which is lovely. I think really fun for this specific pet. They really care about their animal. But, you know, if you can find any sort of nook and cranny and utilize it for your animal dog bed situation, I think that's really nice.
Well, now I feel like we've really kind of let our furry dog friends monopolize the conversation. So I'm going to bring up my next slide here. Mackenzie, will you tell us a little bit about these photos and some of our options for designing with our cats in mind?
Yes. So I just think this is super clever. And I've actually done this in a client or two's home, to where you're designing around your cat so that they can have these, fun shelves to kind of climb up on. Cats like to be high. You find them a lot on top of like refrigerators or cabinets or whatever, tall shelves. So thinking about, implementing things like this into your home is really smart. So, and what's unique about these too is it's more of like a decor piece too. So it's not like, a plastic shelf that you just put up on the wall and, doesn't really fit in. This is, a nice wooden piece that without the cat up there is still kind of interesting and kind of neat. And you can use it as shelves too. So I see a lot of people that have books and, frames and things up there, but they leave open space for the cat to kind of climb up and hang out too. So just kind of thinking about that and utilizing just the taller areas in your home is kind of clever and, interesting to give your cat a little area to roam around. I personally, don't love when it's apparent that, you have like a cat toy tower situation going on. So if it can blend in, I think that's, does a double function. I think it's really, really functional.
This one, Hannah, I want to get your insight as to what's going on in this perfect dog's home.
Yeah, so I mean, another big thing to think about when you're getting a pet, or if you have a pet and you're looking to buy new furniture, is what fabrics are going to be pet friendly and which ones aren't. This is a question I get all the time from clients when we're picking out new furniture from them. They want to know what's kid friendly, what's pet friendly. They want to invest in pieces that are going to be super durable but still look nice. So there's lots of different fabrics to choose from, things to consider. Things like a Krypton fabric, it's like pretty much indestructible. It's a synthetic fabric. It's resistant to stains, smells, muddy paws, all those kinds of things. Krypton is great. Outdoor fabrics, I'm actually starting to recommend quite a bit for use indoors too. I think technology in outdoor fabrics has come a long way in the past few years. I'd say outdoor fabric, people didn't want to use it indoors before because it's kind of more stiff, not as comfortable, a little more rough feeling, but they're starting to come out with some outdoor fabrics that really do feel like indoor fabrics. So those are really nice to use inside because obviously they are meant to be, for heavy wear and tear. So they're good for pets and kids. Another popular one for people is leathers. Obviously, they don't attract hair, easy to wipe down, don't stain quite as easily. The one thing with leather though is, you still will see scratches. Sometimes you can buff those, minor scratches out. But that's kind of what people like about leather is it does develop its own patina over time. If those scratches stay and you can see them a little bit, I don't think it's the end of the world. But then there are some fabrics to avoid too. Things like chenille, velvet, those things obviously are going to attract a lot of fur, not going to be as easy to clean up. Anything with a bigger weave, like a linen, obviously is going to be easy for nails to catch on and you're going to get snags, so that's not a good solution. Another thing I have people consider if you're not looking to buy new furniture but you still want to kind of pet proof a little bit is Scotchgard is a great product you can buy at the store where you just spray down your fabric and it does create a little bit of a layer of protection. Obviously it's not going to be as sturdy as like a Krypton fabric that's made to be durable, but Scotchgard can definitely help in situations where you just kind of need to pet proof the furniture a little bit but aren't planning on buying anything new right away.
Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you guys would want to share to any pet owners considering a redesign somewhere in their home, or somebody who's going to be bringing a new pet into their home for the first time that wants to factor in kind of what are some of those big ticket advice items that they're going to need?
I mean, really just kind of focusing on like what does this pet need? Like, does it, need a bed space? Where am I going to put the food, the water bowls? Do I need to contain it into a certain area of the home at some point? So kind of like thinking about those factors. I know that's a little bit hard if you're getting a new pet because you're not 100% sure exactly, the situation. But just kind of considering all the factors that they will need. And then when you do a remodel, or, you're adding things to the home, you kind of implement all those different, pieces.
Everything is becoming more design focused nowadays. I mean, I think in the past, it wasn't as easy to find some of these pretty looking things you can find that are functional pet items, but nowadays it's so easy to find like a cute little bench to put your litter box in, or even like a fun like cat tree to put in the corner of your house that looks pretty, or some shelves for your cats to climb on. I think, don't be hesitant to get a pet, thinking they're going to ruin your space aesthetically or, just functionally. I think nowadays there's so many good options out there that doesn't need to really affect the aesthetic of your home, and you can still comfortably have a pet.
That's great. I'm going to bring up one more photo to show everybody here. And then I want to give you guys a second as well. Now, these are your actual pets. I wanted to show everybody.
Oh, here she is.
Ah!
This is Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
She likes to video chat.
Here.
Oh my gosh, that's
Says
so
hi.
cute. Hi. Oh my gosh, so cute. Hi, Phoebe. Oh, and now we've got Stella and Bear making their appearance with Mackenzie. Well, thank you guys.
Both of them is a little hard. Oh.
Well, I want to thank you both so much, and thank your pets as well for making an appearance. I think that we really covered some amazing areas for how people can have the confidence to design with their pets in mind without that fear that they are going to sacrifice the function of their space or the style and beauty of their space. So thank you guys so much, and can't wait to have you guys back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe for more interviews and Habitar design tips for you. If you need help with your shelves or any other interior design or home renovation needs, reach out to us at habitardesign.com.